Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
In the studio. What's up, scallywags, nutmeggers, conversationalists, and you haters. What's going on? We are back. It's Reese on the radio, live in studio on WTIC News Talk 1080. I got to give a shout out to my buddy who is the lead singer of my intro, Daniel Pena of the Panics. Today is his birthday. Want to give him a shout out. He's probably out there working on another music video for his band. He's all the way out in San Antonio, but I wanted to give him a shout out today. Happy birthday to you, Daniel, and many, many more. I hope your family celebrates with you well. We got plenty of news and plenty of views to get to. I know you've been dying to call. Get on the phones, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Had a great day today, had a great day yesterday, and the day before. Everything that we're doing with the Salvation Army has been fantastic with the holiday store. It's my first one. I'm having a lot of fun meeting interesting people who work for the Salvation Army. And, of course, everyone who's come out, dropping off donations, also, dropping money in the kettles. All of that stuff has been fun and fantastic. And meeting all of you who show up to shake my hand. I love the anonymous aspect of it, which is, again, that's something I don't know. I'm learning to appreciate the anonymous part of giving. You don't have to tell everybody. We say, hey, can I give you a shout out? I'm like, no, thank you. And that to me is weird that you don't even want a little bit of credit for it. But I guess that goes to character. I want to be able to do it without having to get anything from it. This is, my goodwill for the day or my goodwill for the season. And I give a lot of props to everybody who did it yesterday and every day before. I hope I get to meet more of you. Tomorrow we'll be at the Homewood Suites by Hilton in Glastonbury. So we'll see you there. I'm going to be doing something that I have been trying to do for years. Live at a remote, and it is finally happening tomorrow at 2:30, just after the beginning of the show. And I don't want to say anything, but I am sure that the people who are going to be involved are telling all of their friends that they're going to be doing it. So stand by for it. Again, this is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm so happy that I get to do it during the Christmas season. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're tuning in at 2:30 tomorrow for that. It is a seasonal thing. It'll be a beautiful thing, and I think I may cry. I think I may shed a tear or two. Nonetheless. Hey, Roland, pleasure to be back. You showed up, didn't even say hello to me while I was sitting in the studio for hours. Welcome me back to the studio. Did you miss me? Even a little bit?
Of course not.
Oh. Okay, that's when you know the relationship has flourished. How you doing?
Hanging in there. Oh, just had a...
What'd you do?
Was eating trail mix.
Oh, yes, the thing that always gets you sick after you eat it.
No.
Yes, it does. Every time you get trail mix and your little baggie of what's it, of the slurp.
This is a smoothie.
Smoothie in a bag. Next thing you know, you're sick. Well, the last time it was actually because of, what was it, chicken fingers?
It's bad grease.
Bad grease. You just can't eat chicken fingers everywhere, my friend.
Yeah.
You just
Some
can't.
people don't, how you're supposed to clean out your grease pan and the big deep fryer and all that. Some people just don't do it, and people get sick off of it.
Yeah, that's it. You should just sue them.
Nah, I can't do that.
I can't do that. Oh,
I got a bowl there.
Yep. You don't want to make that different. You don't want to make that uncomfortable.
I don't make any problems.
I hear you. Anyway, on today's program, folks, affordability is on the top of everyone's minds for no good reason. Because the people who are talking about it are talking about it as if it just sprung up. They're talking about it like the last 4 years, 5 years. Nothing. Everything was fine. When gas was $5, you all pretended, it's normal. This is what happens. When taxes were being raised on the wealthy, they're going to pay for everything else. Why not have them pay a little more? They all need to pay their fair share. While you were being gouged, I might add. While you couldn't get baby formula, you came up with every excuse. And you know you did. You know you did. The Republicans are just not helping. Sure they're not. That's right. Because while they're trying to stay in power, or at least get their president in power, their candidate, I should say, in power, the thing that they're doing is making it harder for citizens to pay for basic things like gas to go to work or food for their children. Yes, they're the ones, because they had no idea that it was going to sit on at the feet of the sitting president of the United States. Huh? The Build Back Better deal? That built back nothing? Huh? What was it? What was that ridiculous bill called? The Reduce Inflation Act or whatever it was that turned out to be a climate bill? Whatever that nonsense was. I've already forgotten it. What did that do? Did that spike? Did that cause inflation to go through the roof? Of course it did. Even though Obama's people were saying, don't sign it, they thumbed their nose. Nah, we know what we're doing. And now all of a sudden people are screaming affordability. Donald Trump said he was going to bring it down, and he hasn't done it yet. Okay. Perhaps now you bozos are realizing that it was a real existential threat when Old Man River was in there, ruining everything, tripping over everything like Inspector Clouseau. That's right, the Inflation Reduction Act. Thank you, Lori. Which did the exact opposite. But listen, I want someone, you liberals out there, come on, I know you're listening. I'm going to ask all day. I want one of you guys to sell me the stupid. Sell me the stupid. Just tell me how you're going to sell it to me. Because what you're telling me is that you guys deserve power again in 2026. And we are going to forget everything we dealt with from 2021 to 2024. You mean to tell me that you guys have a plan that is going to work after Build Back Better and the Inflation Reduction Act, that we should give you the keys to the safe? No. We were looking at a couple of these numbers the other day. I want to go back to them. Let me see. Taxes and fees here in Connecticut. Remember, by the way, you guys were just bragging about Connecticut's taking so many seats. What is it, like 35? Property taxes ballooned 10 to 15% over the last decade. Highest regional hike. Devouring budgets. Connecticut ranks dead last in affordability among retirees. Adding sales tax grabs, car rental fees, 72% of a $441 rental, $317 to the state, and income. Altogether, taxes that hit middle class harder post-pandemic. With a $10 billion surplus, families still can't breathe. $81,000 household, 40% can't cover a $116,000 survival budget of $4. They can't afford it. And what did Democrats do in Connecticut? They gave them the keys. They said, please, more poverty, sir. Yes. I don't think I'm being taxed enough. Please, more Democrats. Hell, give a socialist a shot. don't think we've suffered enough. You guys have the audacity to tell me I should hire more of you in 2026. You guys, the $5 gas guys who told us, nah, don't worry about it. We're producing more oil than ever before. We are giving out more permits than ever before. But still, gas prices through the roof. And when they came down 10 cents, you said it was because you released the oil reserves, only to find out, yes, and much of that oil reserves was being sold to China. Come on, sell me the stupid. That's all I want you to do. Sell it to me. I want you to do, you know how those guys, they tell you they can sell, ice to an Eskimo? I want to see which one of you guys can pull that off today. I want you on the phones telling me, Reese, this is why more Democrats need to be in power. Tell me everything you've done every time. Hell, even Bill Clinton had to come around. Even Bill Clinton. What did Barack Obama do? The man walked into office giving $1 trillion to cronies. It's a slush fund. The whole bit. What happened then? Remember shovel-ready jobs? Forcing him to admit, shovel-ready jobs aren't as shovel-ready as real. It wasn't like he wasn't warned about it. Every time somebody warned him about something, racist. Hey, that stimulus package is only going to raise rates. It's only going to raise taxpayer. It's only going to raise inflation on taxpayers. The unemployment rate is going to go through the roof. You don't know what you're talking about. Elections have consequences, he told us. Didn't he lose the House immediately? Sure did. Then lost the Senate afterwards. Oh, and of course, Republicans screwed that up too. We just didn't have it in us. But Democrats have never been great on the economy. They're only great on one thing, taxing, taking other people's stuff, making other people responsible for their failures. That's who they are. Remember Solyndra? Even after that debacle, what did Joe Biden do? He doubled down on green energy. What else did these bozos double down on? Diversity. The welfare state. I haven't heard an economic plan from a Democrat that ever said unleashing the industries in our country so that they can make more money, so they can hire more people and they can expand. Never. Only thing I hear from them is tax. Somebody sell me the stupid. Is this guy going to sell me the stupid? I don't know. I don't want to presume. I'm going to try it. Let's see. Ozzy's in Windsor. Please, I don't want to assume. Are you going to sell me the stupid?
No, sirree. I am one of your biggest fans. First and foremost, I must say I'm West Indian, so you might hate a little patois in me, okay?
No, that's fine.
I just want to congratulate you on your sobriety because.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I know, Scott, and thanks for preaching it. For those who are not aware of it, especially the mental health part of it, that when you go into treatment, there's not much of that to be learned or to be the thought of it. They don't teach you much of it. So I am here in Windsor. I don't know if you heard of the Recovery Club of Windsor.
I have not.
It is, Brian, I can't complain. Every day it's about 40, 45 mature group. It's right off 159 North.
Okay.
It's 118 Palisado Avenue. Every morning, Monday to Friday, 10 to 11. Invitation is yours, man. I just wanted to show up and...
Ozzy, why don't you do this?
On, man.
And I appreciate you. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you on hold, get your information. Roland's going to pick up and grab your information, and I'll give you a holla after, okay?
Man, I can't wait, man. Thank you.
You got it. Absolutely. My pleasure. Anyway, so I didn't want to assume that Ozzy was calling to sell me the stupid. I don't expect Democrats to call me and tell me that the Democrats have got a plan. I know they don't have a plan. The only plan that they have is to go after Donald Trump, to possibly get him impeached. Oh, hell, get him arrested. Oh, let's go one step further. They're trying to get him killed. Come on! You know the deal. That's exactly what the issue is. They don't want to do anything for the American people, and we'll get into that in a second. I want you to understand now, if you ever need an understanding of Democrats when it comes to the American people and how they don't give two damns about you, and I'm talking to people on the left too, they don't give a damn about you. I'm going to lay out that case today. You will not believe, and the evidence is right in front of you. The evidence is right there in front of you. And they have hoodwinked a lot of these folks, very silly folks, into believing they have their best interest at heart. It is wild what's being done. Now, I got to give a shout out to somebody by the name of Jim Himes, Representative Jim Himes. Listen closely. Jim, seriously, somebody in your office is doing you a disservice. Someone, if not many people, are doing you a disservice. They are scared to death to tell you that I'm looking for you. They are scared to death to let you know that Reese on the radio wants to talk to you. Because I really, really want to understand if you are just being political or you are an idiot. And I am being serious when I say this, Jim Himes. I don't mind you being a political person. That would make sense. But the stuff that comes out of your mouth makes you sound like a absolute idiot. I am going to give you examples of that. But whoever is in your office and is doing you a disservice by not telling you that I am asking to speak to you so that you can correct the record and stop looking so silly, you need to fire that bozo. I'm going to say it again. Jim Himes, please, someone get at him because his office won't. They are scared to death because I think that they think he's an idiot. That's why they're shielding him. I'll explain in a little bit. Stand by. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at. Also, a new scam in affordability, a scam in the housing market here in Connecticut that you will not believe. And when you hear the numbers, you'll be blown away, without a doubt. So stand by. More news, more views, your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
Yeah, we're back. Reese on the radio, back in the studio. Got plenty of news and plenty of views to get to. I know you guys missed some of talking about the issues and stuff as we are helping out the folks at the Salvation Army with the holiday store. But when we get back in the studio, we still do some of that, but we want to get back to the issues that matter to you. Don't forget, you can give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Going to give a shout-out later to the folks over at the Waterbury Police Department. I'll explain my visit there today, meeting those fine folks there. Anyway, sell me the stupid, Democrats. This is the whole point. Because I know that you can scream and holler about affordability all day because, unfortunately, for those who hate Donald Trump, all you have to do is say to those guys, whoa, eggs haven't gone down. So I heard an ABC report today. I'm not kidding. An ABC report today that was complaining about Donald Trump's Pennsylvania rally. His rally on affordability. ABC News was talking about prices that did not go down. And one of the things that they mentioned, although Donald Trump says he has brought grocery prices down, some prices of things have not come down. And one of the things they mentioned, I kid you not, was sirloin steak. Now, I don't know about you. I do not. I do not know about you. Maybe Connecticut might be different. But to the average home, how many of you are buying sirloin steak on a regular basis? Roland, what is your sirloin steak intake weekly? Are you having it every day, 3 days a week?
I don't eat beef, so.
You don't eat beef. Look at that.
But, yeah.
I mean, sirloin steak? I mean, when I was a kid, but in fact, sirloin steak, I remember Roseanne saying not too long ago, she goes, yeah, I miss the fact that we don't eat steak as much as we used to. I got to have chicken. I'll have lamb. Hell, I'll even have pork chops.
Oh.
Sirloin. I know you don't eat the swine.
Growing up, but when I did eat beef,
yeah.
It wasn't sirloin steak my mom could afford. It was the cube steak.
Yes, cube. Exactly, the cubes. Can we give it up for the cube steak? Looked like it was run over by a tractor trailer.
Timberland boots stepped on it.
Had the ridges. Exactly. Michael B. says twice a month, maybe, because that is considered a
delicacy, right?
A delicacy, exactly. It's like having lobster. It's like you don't have it all the time. It is not on the wish list. I mean, if it's on anything, it's on a wish list, but it's not on the grocery list. There's some things you just don't know. I don't know the last time I had lobster.
Yeah, well, in growing up in New Orleans, we had a lot of seafood. Not lobster.
Well, yeah,
exactly. We had a lot of crabs. And crawfish and
which one's crawdad? Crawdad is the same thing as crawfish?
Crawdads is that's pretty much is crawfish.
It is crawfish.
Yeah.
Okay, I just heard the term crawdad back in the day.
The only crawdad I know is a chip brand down there.
Oh, okay, really?
So, yeah, there's a brand of chips with like Cajun flavoring.
I never heard. Okay, well, I think Raised in Arizona was where I first heard that. It was like sometimes we had crawdad, baked crawdad. I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Chicken fried cube steak is really good though.
Yeah, that is.
I never even chicken fried cube steak is that like just put it in a vat of grease?
Yeah, you just
okay.
I believe it's deep fried.
Oh, deep fried. Okay, that's I describe everything as a vat. Just putting it anytime there is a large like a large amount of something like, lard, I consider that a vat, even though I don't really mean it. But yeah, I've never had chicken fried cube steak ever. But yeah, you always had the cheap cut.
Yep.
But sirloin was not on the list. And again, these people trying to tell me, no, those prices have not come down. They avoided high prices like the plague during the Biden administration. They played down everything over and over and over again. And now they're acting like it's the most important thing ever because Donald Trump campaigned on it. Well, does anybody remember what life was supposed to be like when Biden came into office? Finally, the soul of America was on the line. That's why we had to elect Joe Biden. That we were finally going to be in a world of peace and love and tranquility.
Who was the president 96 to 2000?
That would have been Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Oh yeah, that's when it was live.
Yeah, of course.
We had Wendy's got 9 for $99. We had man, I was in high school. We could eat a whole meal for $4.
And you can thank none other than Contract with America and Newt Gingrich, because that was the first time, and I think somebody can correct me, Lori. I'm sure you're there. I think that was the first time in 40 years Republicans had taken the House.
Oh no, that was the difference.
That was when we had welfare reform. We had work for welfare. You had that work for welfare program. We were trying to get in essence trying to get rid of the nanny state. Bill Clinton, who is very, very far to the left, had to moderate, sort of, because the economy was dying.
Yeah, I had 2 jobs then. I had Hollywood Video.
Damn.
They tried to rival Blockbuster at that time.
I do remember that.
And Ponderosa. I worked both of those places.
Ponderosa. Is that not around anymore?
No, it's gone.
Goodness gracious. I think I've been to Ponderosa maybe twice in my life.
It was good. I did everything over there.
Ponderosa, man.
Besides cook steak. That's the only thing I didn't do was cook steak.
So, Michael B. says that chicken fried cube steak dipped in egg and breadcrumbs and then fried. I don't think my wife would allow me to have that. That sounds like a delicacy. Not to what the stuff she would let me eat. I'm just saying, folks, that these folks in the affordability nonsense, I don't believe it one bit. I believe everything they're talking about is an absolute farce. But I also believe this, and this is to be true. I don't think that they have any plans to make life affordable for Americans. Here is why. And it's real simple. Zohran Mamdani is all you need to know. What about Senator, is it Anwar here in Connecticut? The guy who had that picture up that says, cholesterol, do your job at the No Kings rally? Wasn't he just photographed with Zohran Mamdani? Which is, as far as I'm concerned, an endorsement of his socialist policies, which, if I remember correctly, socialism means taking from the wealthy to pay for everybody else. How is that an affordability play by the Democrats, a policy that Democrats can get behind if they become more and more socialist, or, as they like to try to fool us with, democratic socialist? What's that got to do? None of it has to do with affordability. We just heard recently, who was on here? Ben Proto was talking about this as well. What did Ned Lamont do when the SNAP crisis was upon us, where people were concerned about whether or not their SNAP benefits were going to be paid for? Instead of talking about lowering prices in the state of Connecticut, he just pushed more money at it, forcing poor people to pay more for those groceries. They didn't even try or attempt to address the grocery prices. Here in Connecticut, has there been any meaningful fight to bring down your energy costs? You're paying 5 times some places. It's insanity. And these people are screaming about, we need to address affordability. They have no plans, because not one person will bother to ask them, okay, give us one idea to address affordability. Just one. Just one. I'll wait. The sad part is that we don't have any media here. But we have got to find a way to do it. So, I think I have an idea. I think I have a really, really good idea. I think we need to get some folks who have some time on their hands to be independent journalists. Our good friend Mark in West Hartford is out of commission for a little bit. You may have heard, he had a bit of an accident, and he's doing fine. I've texted him. He's doing okay. I'm a horrible friend. He's told me on Friday what happened, and then I failed to find out until Tuesday. Shows you how informed I am. But he's doing okay. But I think we need to get a band of journalists. I think that band of journalists, if they want to do it, to get to some of these places and start asking these politicians questions and getting them on the record and recording them. I only need about 5 people in various areas in Connecticut so they can talk to the politicians, talk to them when they're out on the stump, and ask them the important questions that need to be asked. And one of them is, fine, affordability. That's the issue you're running on? Give me one plan. Tell me something that you guys are going to introduce to locals right here in the state, or hell, in the town, that's going to make their life more affordable. What do you got? And make them answer. And if they start screaming, well, talk to them. No. You represent us. What are you introducing that's going to alleviate some of the pain that you say that we're all feeling and that Donald Trump is going to, increase? What do you got? What have you introduced? What bill have you written? That's what we should do. Michael B., good. I've got one. I need 4 more. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. I've got so much stuff to get into. Of course, we got headlines, so stand by for that as well, and we'll take your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we are back. Sorry about that. And we have returned. Folks, tomorrow is going to be an epic day for me. I hope that you will tune in to be a part of it. For me, it's near and dear to me. And the way that I will describe it is this simple. Back in my Boston days, I wanted to do what was called Reese on the Radio, the musical. It was a bold idea. It was very, very bold. But it never took off. It just did not work. I did all the planning. I did everything, and it just failed miserably. And it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I won't tell you the details of what it was because it was, I'll admit, it was in my younger days. And I was, the whole idea when you think that things are promising in your career and you're like, I'm going to do something epic. And I was way ahead of myself. I did not know how to plan something like it. I just had the idea and I said, I'm going to see if I can implement it. And it did not happen. Well, tomorrow, I kind of get to do the same thing. So I just want you to consider that. It's not exactly Reese on the Radio, the musical, but the hell if it doesn't come close. It is going to it's going to get very, very close. And I've seen it done before. It's not like I'm reinventing the wheel, but I can't wait to hear it and see it myself. So stay tuned for that tomorrow at 2:30 right here on WTIC. Teresa is in the chat room, and she says this about cube steak. Was it cube? Yes, cube steak. And she says, I remember sitting at the kitchen table as a little kid, crying, chewing my ketchup-soaked cube steak because I couldn't swallow it, because I hated it so much. My parents told me I had to eat my dinner or else I was going to get down from the table. I have never purchased it as an adult. Now, Teresa, this is the reason why I no longer eat collard greens or fatback or chicken gizzards. None of that stuff. Or liver. I will never eat liver because I was forced to eat that stuff when I was a kid. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. It's just not, just the food that you were made to eat as a child. If you grow up, if you grew up in a middle class or a low middle class or even a poor household, dinner was, how do I put it? In some ways, punishment. It was a lot of punishment because your parents were making you eat stuff that they deemed good for you. Many of us ate what we could afford, but my mother used to say, this is good for me. I'll never forget my mom wanting us to get our vegetable intake, and she made us eat okra, but not fried okra, which, again, I found out later on is far better than regular okra. God, I wish she was from Memphis because they love fried okra in Memphis. That was the first time I'd ever had it. But if my mom had made fried okra, I'd have grown up loving fried okra. But no, she gave me the slimy stuff. That's a big thing down in New Orleans. Do they eat okra down there? Do they even touch that stuff? Yeah, see, I figured they do. But they fry it, though, right? Yeah, unless it's gumbo, yeah. But no, my mother boiled it. Boiled gumbo. It was the worst, and I knew it. I still remember what it tastes like. Still remember. And I'll never eat it again unless it's fried. Unless it's fried. So, and collard greens, the same thing. I know I get a lot of crap for collard greens and mustard greens. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, they're all roots. They're just garbage weeds. I won't eat them. If we didn't eat what was on the table, we had it for breakfast, Michael B. says. Damn, that's just cruel. I couldn't imagine having to eat collard greens for breakfast. Oh, Like I said, it's always food. I always associated food with punishment. When I got older and I could afford my own food, this is probably why I'm a poor eater today. That's the reason why. And when my wife, and I speak to her like she's like nobody knows it, when Roseanne makes me eat healthy stuff, I immediately associate. I don't know why. She'll make something. She goes, eat this, and this is good for you. And I hear my mother telling me that. No, this is good for you. You need to eat this. I'm like, can't we have good tasting stuff? Good tasting stuff is bad for you. Ugh, it's just awful. Anyway, I'm in that place now. I don't need to be in that space. I don't need to. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could be more like Roland and eat gumbo. Just not care. Never put on a pound. Is everybody in your family skinny? No? Okay, so obviously gumbo has had a bad effect on their lives.
Yeah, well, the women are not skinny.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what the problem is.
The men are legs and chest is all small, but, you know, they all have a little belly.
I'll tell you exactly what the difference is. I'll tell you why. You know why you're skinny? It's simple. Because you cook. The chef never eats. It's weird. It's like they don't eat the way everybody else does.
No. I mean, I eat a lot.
Do you eat a lot?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
I used to eat a lot, but now I eat like 2 meals a day.
Yeah, but now you cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you cook, and that's what it is. I need to cook more now. I'll drop a few pounds because then I won't have the desire to eat. Anyway,
yeah, because you're tasting the whole time.
Exactly.
So by the time it's time to eat, you're good.
I'm no longer famished, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to take a break. We got to get to the top of the hour news. John Silva is in the WTIC newsroom. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, guys, we are back, and it's been a long time, so let's get into headlines. Connecticut farmers affected by the severe weather events in 2023 and 2024, including hailstorms and other crop-damaging incidents, will not receive anticipated federal relief funds until at least 2026. The delay stems from the 43-day federal government shutdown that started on October 1st of 2025, which halted negotiations between the Connecticut Department of Agriculture and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The funds, part of a $53 million farm recovery and support block grant allocated to the state, were expected to open for applications this fall, but are now postponed as the state seeks a vendor to manage distribution and paperwork for eligible farmers. Also, with natural snowfall becoming less reliable due to changing climate patterns, according to reports, Connecticut ski areas are increasingly dependent on sophisticated snowmaking systems to ensure operational success. Powder Ridge Mountain Park and Resort in Middlefield kicked off the season by producing snow as early as October 16th this year, using innovative snow factory equipment to create and store artificial snow, allowing an early opening on Black Friday. Other venues like Mohawk Mountain, Ski Sundown, and Mount Southington have also followed suit, capitalizing on cold snaps to build substantial snow bases. With Powder Ridge achieving 36 inches by December 9th through the round-the-clock efforts. Upgrades in infrastructure, such as expanded water capacity and automated energy-efficient machines, have enabled quicker trail preparation, often in just 3 to 4 days of favorable conditions. Operations like Powder Ridge CEO Sean Hayes note that groomed manufactured snow is virtually identical to natural snow, and facilities can tailor snow types for optimal conditions. To combat visitor hesitation without local snow, resorts are diversifying with tubing. Events like Winterfest and focusing on weekday and school group businesses, adapting what Hayes calls a shift prompted by Mother Nature, has changed. For the first time in over a decade, enrollment of English language learners, or ELLs, in Connecticut public schools has decreased, with preliminary data showing a drop of more than 2,000 students in 2025. This reversal interrupts a trend of steady growth since 2014, aside from a brief dip in 2020, and stands out against overall declining student populations. Significant reductions are noted in districts like Hartford, Danbury, and New Haven, prompting advocates to label the change as very significant, according to Michael Morton of the School and State Finance Project. Advocates point to fears of immigration enforcement under the incoming Trump administration as a key factor. While families reported keeping children home to avoid potential separations, Tabitha Sudiko, Sukdio, of Connecticut Students for a Dream shared anecdotes of younger siblings not attending school and diminished interest in higher education due to safety concerns. A Data Haven survey from August to October of 2025 revealed that 31% of residents worry about immigration status, with 19 avoiding schools, particularly in Latino communities. District leaders like Hartford's Andre Townsell and New Haven's Madeline Negron attribute some declines to fewer newcomers and housing issues that acknowledge this anomaly. The drop could impact school funding, potentially reducing resources through programs like free lunch provisions if families withhold information out of fear, leading to broader consequences like consolidations or closures. Districts are bolstering trust through staff training and safe environmental assurances, while noting improvements, the ELL absenteeism. However, questions remain about whether these gains reflect genuine progress or simply fewer high needs students enrolling, which, by the way, I've got to state in all of this that when people start throwing the word budgets that are going to be affected by this, the budgets are based upon participation. It is not a budget shortfall if you don't have people enrolled and you don't have that money. It's like having 30 students get $1 for each for their attendance, and then having 20 students and only having $20 and then calling that a shortfall. It is not. You're only getting money allocated. It's like complaining about the $10 you don't have, even though you have 10 fewer students. Do you still want to keep the money? And if it's truly going to each student, right, the actual dollar amount is going to each student, and if that, again, is what the process is, you should have no concern about not getting the money that you used to get for said student. Student's not there, money's not needed. So the fact that people don't make that association always bothers me. It's just the way that people discuss it. It never makes sense. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that, I can't remember his name, but he was from the first Trump administration. He was talking about how the news media calls things a budget cut. And the way he described it is, if a government program gets $100 in 2025, and in Washington, the amount of money they're supposed to get is supposed to go up $5 every 3 years. In 3 years, if the government says we're not going to give you that $5, they call that a budget cut, even if they get the $100. So, and again, it's not losing money. And the way that it's shown, or the way that it's talked about, you would think that the program is now getting $95 as opposed to its $100. So that's why they use the vague sort of accounting of a budget cut. And someone saying, say he's cutting the budget. It's like, no, the budget's still going there. They're just not getting the so-called increase that they want. So calling it a budget cut is nefarious at best. Our tax dollars are there to teach legal students, not illegals. You're absolutely right, Michael B. And so what you're saying is illegals aren't using as much of our tax money by being in our school. Yes, that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point in all of this. Now for the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
This one is a doozy. In a plot that sounds more like a dystopian thriller than reality, 21-year-old Gavin Rivers from Allen, Texas, and 20-year-old Tanner Christopher Thomas from Argyle, Texas, were indicted on November 20th of this year in the U.S. District Court for conspiring to stage a coup on Gonave Island near Haiti. The duo began scheming in 2024, learning Haitian Creole and attempting to acquire skills for their takeover. Weisenberg enrolled in the North Texas Fire Academy to study command protocols, but failed out in February of 2025, while Thomas joined the U.S. Air Force and was stationed in Maryland. Their plan involved recruiting homeless individuals from the Washington, D.C. area to form a makeshift army, sailing to the island and seizing control. Once in power, the men allegedly intended to kill all the male inhabitants and enslave the women and children as slaves, revealing a deeply disturbing level of premeditation and malice. Facing potential life sentences in federal prison if convicted, Weisenberg and Thomas' case underscores the dangers of radicalizing fantasies turning into actionable threats, even from seemingly ordinary young adults. Authorities have uncovered the plot before it could advance, preventing what could have been a catastrophic international incident. I read this and I said, there's no way this is true. No way. No way. What? Two young guys, 20 and 21. They were going to imprison all the men. And these two would be the supreme rulers of this island. I don't think I've ever seen anything that crazy in my life. A coup. Oh, well. Anyway, those are your headlines. I went to the Waterbury Police Department today with my wife and another guest who will remain nameless. He doesn't want any credit for setting it up. Anyway, we went down there, and we got to meet the chief of police, Fernando Spagnola. We sat with him for about a half an hour, had a conversation about policing in Waterbury, in Connecticut overall, and just policing overall. I gave him some anecdotes that I know about policing. I asked him some questions about recruitment, things of that nature, how they deal with community policing. If that's a real thing, I think it's nonsense. That's just my take. Not that the chief had any real opinion about that, because he believes that. I mean, he looks at community policing, I think, the way anybody would, and that is that the police officers who patrol know the communities that they serve. They've developed relationships with the people who live there. Having seen them and working in the force, you're there for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 years. After a while, you sort of develop relationships with people. Not that every time you're encountering them it's because you're locking somebody up, but it could be anything from a domestic dispute, somebody, maybe mowing their lawn, a noise complaint, things like that. But you get to know your community. He was talking about community policing in that regard, where, the advocates and all of those other rabble-rousers will talk about it in a completely different way. Always, injecting race in it. We need more blacks and more Latinos. He addressed things like Waterbury having a growing Ecuadorian community. Many people don't know that. And you know what? I'll tell you this. This is what was interesting that the chief said to me. And I didn't know this either. And this is why you have to have conversations with folks in your community, especially guys like this, police officers, lieutenants, whoever they are. If they're a ranking officer, you should stop and talk to them. Just casually ask questions about what they do and the things that they have to encounter. This one blew my mind. And it involves immigration, of all things. And it's not the immigration issues that you hear every day. Try this on for size. So you bring people come into your country, and let's say they renting a home or they're working a construction job. They're, sure, they're undocumented, they're illegal, but they're working. Some people are on the pathway to citizenship, may have a green card, may have some sort of, extended stay kind of deal with the federal government. But whatever the case is, they're doing construction or they're working in the community, doing something like rebuilding or contracting, whatever the case may be. And imagine a police officer coming up on that individual on a Sunday, working, and realizing that the work that they're doing, they have no permit for. They don't even know that you're supposed to have one. They may have been contracted by an individual, or even the individual who contracted them doesn't know that there are city ordinances that they have to follow. Yes, to do this type of construction or this type of carpentry or this type of work, all of that stuff has to have a permit to do it, and they don't recognize it. They don't even know. It's like, really? Oh, you have to have a permit to do that? They think that they're on private property and they could do, I'm not messing with anybody else's stuff. It's like, no, you actually have to have a permit for that. Now, sure, you have to applaud the snitches in the neighborhood. God bless you. God bless the snitch. Hey, I don't think that they got a permit to do that. You guys should come down here. Police officer comes by and says, hey, Manuel, do you guys have a permit to do this? Where's your permit? And, of course, people are just like, no, I don't know anything about a permit. We're on private property, right? It's like, no, I didn't realize that. And you'll see that construction anywhere and everywhere. And 9 times out of 10, I'm just saying, they don't have the proper paperwork to do that. So imagine how much danger they're putting individuals in. And the chief was telling me that that's some of the calls they have to deal with. A lot of people don't even know that. They have to deal with a growing number of people who come into the country, be it illegal or otherwise. And a lot of those guys are doing work all hours of the day, do not understand. These guys will work 7 days a week. They don't understand what the rules are. They don't even know what they're supposed to do. So imagine being a police officer, not going down there to go lock a guy up or even going down there to sort of harass the guy, but to go down there and have to explain to him, okay, you don't have a permit to do this kind of work. You got to go down and do this, that, and the third. Imagine doing that with a guy who does not speak English. Police officers then have to either get an interpreter or find a way to interpret because they don't have someone to help them. So the chief's telling me that, and I'm just going, I would have never thought of that. The growing immigrant population. It's incredible that you have to. In knowing that, I thought about this piece. This is from a Virginia delegate, which I thought was kind of interesting. He was talking about when people talk about illegals in the state, they're always trying to analyze exactly what he's saying. Where is he? Jim, let me see. That's not him. No. Nick Freitas, that's him. When talking about illegals and talking about people coming into the country and not knowing what the rules are, if you bring that attention to folks, they immediately try to diagnose who you are. Here's Nick Freitas. I thought this was brilliant. The only reason why I thought about this was because of talking to the chief today, Chief Spagnola in Waterbury. Listen to this.
I learned something after 10 years of debating Democrats in the House of Delegates and just the woke in general. I was debating, they were diagnosing. Here's what I mean by that. I would say something insane, like, I think we should have better border security. To which they would respond, oh, so you're xenophobic. No, I'm not. I don't have a phobia. I don't have an irrational fear or hatred of other people or different cultures. I just think that when you mass import millions of people from a culture with different legal and social traditions, it's not the best recipe for social cohesion. Oh, so you're a racist. No, I don't believe in the inherent inferiority or inferiority of any person based off of the race. I think you should be judged by individual actions and character. Let me give you an example of what I mean, just so there's no confusion, that I don't hate anybody. Let's say you mass import millions of people from a culture that believes it's perfectly appropriate to stone a woman for exposing her hair in public. And you take that mindset and that cultural tradition and you merge it into the United States overnight. That's probably not going to blend well. Oh, so you're Islamophobic. You see what's going on there? Like, I'm presenting arguments. I'm presenting facts, data, analysis, logic, and they're trying to diagnose what sort of phobia or bigotry I'm guilty of, not so they can engage with my argument, but so they can dismiss it.
I always find that interesting, that's what that case is. You may remember that a person who used to frequently call this show would always make that argument. You're this and you're that. And it's, again, the objective is to dismiss it. Later on, I'm going to explain why that is vital to the whole conversation about illegals or cultural differences and why assimilation in this country is important. There's something very, very deep-rooted and evil behind what Nick Freitas is talking about here. We'll get to that in a little bit. Stand by. More news, more views than you can shake a stick at when we return, plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. Today is going to also be the last day for Negro Nonsense before the new year. Now, there's a reason for that. I always like to change it up. We'll come up with something different. But don't miss this one, because this one is probably going to be the creme de la creme. This is probably going to be this is what I'd like to say, like an encore type of performance for Negro Nonsense today. So stand by for that. That's coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Okay? And we've got plenty of other stuff to get to, so don't go anywhere. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, did you hear? It's our birthday, 100 years. Did you happen to get us a present?
There we go. Hey, we're back. It's Reese on the radio. In a little bit, I have to address this thing. Some weird take on Ericka Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow. Somebody said something that absolutely blew my mind, but we'll get into it later on. Because she's been, making the rounds as of late. And I think, again, she is the CEO of Turning Point now. And someone had a wild take. It blew my mind because I couldn't believe it was coming from somebody on the left. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, I played the clip earlier. If you missed it, I'll play it again. It is from the Virginia delegate by the name of Nick Freitas. Listen closely to this. This is very important.
I learned something after 10 years of debating Democrats in the House of Delegates and just the woke in general. I was debating, they were diagnosing. Here's what I mean by that. I would say something insane, like, I think we should have better border security. To which they would respond, oh, so you're xenophobic. No, I'm not. I don't have a phobia. I don't have an irrational fear or hatred of other people or different cultures. I just think that when you mass import millions of people from a culture with different legal and social traditions, it's not the best recipe for social cohesion. Oh, so you're a racist. No, I don't believe in the inherent inferiority or inferiority of any person based off of the race. I think you should be judged by individual actions and character. Let me give you an example of what I mean, just so there's no confusion, that I don't hate anybody. Let's say you mass import millions of people from a culture that believes it's perfectly appropriate to stone a woman for exposing her hair in public. And you take that mindset and that cultural tradition and you merge it into the United States overnight. That's probably not going to blend well. Oh, so you're Islamophobic. You see what's going on there? Like, I'm presenting arguments. I'm presenting facts, data, analysis, logic, and they're trying to diagnose what sort of phobia or bigotry I'm guilty of, not so they can engage with my argument, but so they can dismiss it.
Now, why? Why do they wish to dismiss it? Well, that's simple. I saw this video a couple of weeks ago. You may not have, but I thought it made a lot of sense. This guy, I guess from the UK, is interviewing a former Antifa member who got out. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore because it just didn't go along with his just ethics. And here's part of that interview. Remember, to dismiss it.
Say they're going to kill someone, or they think it's justified to attack someone because they're a fascist, for example.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like whether it's people deserve to die, they have no human rights. It's like calling someone a Nazi or a fascist. It's a way to just dehumanize them. You can do whatever to them. You can assault them. It's funny to them. They laugh about it. They don't kill you because you're a fascist. They call you a fascist so they can kill you. You know, it's just a way to dehumanize people and threaten them. Originally, they were trying to bully and threaten like what they would consider right-wing extremists, like Proud Boys or like Christian nationalists, you know, that show up to protests or events. They're bullying them. That's not the target anymore. Now the target is anyone that doesn't agree with them. Socially, when I'm not at a meeting, I'm just hanging out with people that I know, you know, more and more they talk about acts of violence, they talk about guns or going to gun ranges, and the shit scares me.
Why do you think some of these people that you know are arming themselves and going to gun ranges and so on?
They feel as though they're under threat. Well, you know, we're going to be genocided or put in prison, or Nazis have taken over America, and so we have to act now to stop it.
That kind of rhetoric and those ideas, do you feel that it's kind of like a radicalization or self-radicalization, almost akin to, let's say, an Islamist group?
How is this different than a group like ISIS?
Now, again, that sounds extreme. The guy's on the inside, okay? He's an insider. I'm just going to take his word for it, if you don't mind. But remember, to dehumanize, delegitimize, that's the whole idea, right? You come up with an idea, you break down what you got to write them off. You're Islamophobic. You're a racist. You're a xenophobe. That's the purpose of calling somebody a Nazi, calling somebody a fascist, to dehumanize them, because then it justifies attacking you. It's not like we haven't seen it other places. Let me give you another example. When you hear something like that, where someone's saying that you shouldn't be humanized, it doesn't just come from the radical left. It comes from the mainstream left as well. Just after the Republican convention, Whoopi Goldberg was on The View. It was the day after Donald Trump's granddaughter, Kai Trump, had given a speech to introduce the would-be president of the United States. Here's what Whoopi said about Donald Trump's granddaughter introducing the 47th president.
I don't know very many men who want to be talked to the way that this man has been talking to men in his audience. I don't know any women, and I know his grandchild was up on the thing, and they're trying to humanize him and change your idea about who this guy is. Don't fall for that.
Trump, you're talking about. Yeah. Talking about Trump.
Don't humanize him. Don't humanize Donald Trump. Don't humanize people on the right, MAGA folks, because, again, it gives you license to attack them. Do you understand? That's how that works. So when you hear these guys who are former, or at least this guy who is a former Antifa member, and let me find his audio again, for those of you who may have missed it, listen to what he says. Again, it gives them license to attack.
Say they're going to kill someone, or they think it's justified to attack someone because they're a fascist, for example.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's like whether it's people deserve to die, they have no human rights. It's like calling someone a Nazi or a fascist. It's a way to just dehumanize them. You can do whatever to them. You can assault them. It's funny to them. They laugh about it. They don't kill you because you're a fascist. They call you a fascist so they can kill you.
That's all you need to understand. Now, I want to contrast that to what I was saying about Representative Jim Himes. and many people in the news media as of late. Let's start here, where Jim Himes says there's no such thing as a narco-terrorist.
There is no such thing as a narco-terrorist. There are very, very bad narcotics people, cartels, etc., but they're desperate to make this look like it's ISIS or al-Qaeda because that's the very thin line on which their illegal use of the United States military to take these people out resides.
So now the narco-terrorists don't exist, and they are not akin to ISIS or al-Qaeda, Jim Himes says. He also says that the narco-terrorists, the ones that he said didn't exist, are now narco-terrorists, but they're just silly dupes who made poor decisions in their lives.
You know, I live in a political world, and a lot of folks, if you just tell them, you know, the president is killing narco-terrorists in the Caribbean, you know, reasonably enough, they'll say, you know, a lot of Americans die because of overdoses, and, you know, they might say, okay, I'm supportive of that, right? But what you need to do is you need to see two terrified men clinging to the wreckage of a ship, and these men are not. This is not Pablo Escobar out there on a boat. You know, these are guys that probably didn't have a lot of economic opportunity, made a terrible decision to participate in the drug trade.
Now, again, remember, in one breath, Jim Himes says,
there is no such thing as a narco-terrorist.
There's no such thing as a narco-terrorist. To only then turn around and say,
if you just tell them, you know, the president is killing narco-terrorists.
Oh, now they're narco-terrorists. But if you listen to his description of, these guys are just poor decision makers. They're poor decision makers. Here's CNN talking to Representative Randy Fine of Florida. Listen to the anchor of the CNN program talk about drug traffickers.
There is a legal process for adjudicating drug traffickers, Congressman. We've learned since news of this second strike came out that there have been very different outcomes for survivors of these strikes. Some were, as you know, targeted more than once. One person was apparently left to die in the ocean. Two were actually picked up and sent back to their home countries. What do you think the protocol should be for handling the survivors of these strikes?
Again, the humanization of drug traffickers, the humanization of people who work for cartels, killers, I might add, murderers, I might add, slave traders, I might add, humanization. That's what's happening here. Randy Fine's response is brilliant.
I've got to be honest with you. I don't really care what happens to drug dealers and drug runners. I'm worried about the American people whose families are being savaged by these drugs. Whatever happens.
And that's all Democrats need to do. But they don't. They have no empathy for you. They don't care that you're dying by the hundreds of thousands a year. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, important. Mahmoud Khalil, that guy's important. The guy who hates the United States. The drug dealers coming in. The migrants who are being arrested and deported out of the country. Most important people in their group. Doesn't matter whether or not they're rapists, killers, drug dealers, doesn't matter. To them, they are their most important constituents. That's who they are. All day, every day. And at the same time, you think these folks, if they get in charge, they're going to care about you and start working on affordability? They don't do anything but dehumanize you and humanize cretins. Cretins. While you get left in the lurch. And you vote for it. Trust me, before we get out of here, I promise you. In fact, I'm going to do Negro nonsense in the next break. I'm going to show you exactly how stupid a lot of these folks who vote for guys like Jim Himes are. I'll break it down for you. Wait, just wait. We'll return. More news, more views. It's Reese on the radio.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Anyway, we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I need to do this real quick. Let me do that and make sure that I'm ready to go. This is important to note. Again, this is about the dehumanization of Americans. And it started a long time ago. But the scary part about all of this is breaking all of this down is why, again, I know they don't care about regular Americans, no matter who they are. If you've done something with your life and you've been successful in any meaningful way, where you're just raising your family, something about, and don't forget, if you vote the wrong way, right? If you don't vote the right way, that will also get you in trouble. But this dehumanization thing is interesting for a lot of reasons. So I give you my epic closing for Negro nonsense. And you don't want to miss it. This is important.
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
And white Americans will soon be a minority, and that's great.
Whites will not be the majority. I mean, it's an exciting transformation of the country. It's an exciting evolution and progress of our country.
We are going to be a white minority very, very soon. I'm okay with that.
If things are so bad, as you say, with the white working class, don't you want to get new Americans in?
America is going to look very different in 100 years. You're not going to be able to tell you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Puerto Rican, whatever. It's going to be very complex, and I think ultimately that's going to be good.
White Americans feel that they're losing their country. They're losing ownership of the country. And they're right. In the end, they are not the future.
For the first time in American history, the number of white people went down.
White population is declining for the first time in history in America.
White people will not be the majority in the country anymore.
This will be the first generation ever in American history in which whites will be a minority.
Treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity.
To abolish whiteness is to abolish white people.
White people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? We got to take these motherfuckers out.
Was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies?
We have to kill white people.
When do we start killing white people?
I don't want to say we need to go start killing all white folks, but it's like, but maybe.
When we say we want to kill whitey, we don't really mean we want to kill whitey, we do.
We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem.
White people!
An unrelenting stream of immigration. Non-stop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
Dehumanization, folks. That's the whole plan right now. And what they're humanizing is absolutely disgusting and despicable. Drug dealers, illegals, traffickers, sex traffickers. Gang members. It's incredible. But I think I made my case. Let's get our first check of weather and traffic. It's coming up. Mark Christopher is in, right? Yeah, he's in the BPS traffic center. I think he's out next week. No, he's out. Oh, it's Tom O'Hanlon today. I knew he was out. Tom O'Hanlon is in the BPS traffic center.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we're back. Reese on the radio right here. Let's do the thing.
Breathe, bagel deli and bakery. Between rounds.
I got to remind myself to call Jerry Puya of Between Rounds so that I can find out, at least so I can find out which location we're going to do the whole thing in. We do have a winner of the Between Rounds Dozen Bagels a Month for 6 months. No, that's wrong. Wrong person. Sorry. It's Charles D. of West Hartford. He is today's winner of the Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. I do believe it's going to be in South Windsor that we're going to do the in-store. If you'd like to participate, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com, fill out the information there, make sure your birth date and your telephone number is in there, and then I will send you an email letting you know what to do and when we're going to announce it. So make sure you go to reeseontheradio.com. I'm in the chat room, folks, and Matteo says in the chat, in my email, he should say, on my text message, he says, you're getting rid of the Negro Nonsense segment because people kept asking you to do the Wacky Whitey segment. He calls it something else. We should have just left Good Enough alone. No, it isn't that. I do it for a little while. Like, I do it for like 6-7 months, and then I move on. I do something new. It keeps the show fresh. But I'm still going to, if there's Negro nonsense out there, I'm still going to address it. I want to play this. I want to make this point real quick. So there's a guy who's in the chat room on reeseontheradio.com, and his name is Hamilton Berger, I guess is his name. Anyway, I think that's a pseudonym of some sort. But, he is going after the same old ridiculous tropes, calling me Steven from Django Unchained. You must be new here, Negro. That don't affect nobody. We'll get into one of his comments because it's absolutely silly. And let me tell you something. The education system in this country is so bad. I will tell you the biggest victims of that education system when we get back. And yes, it is blacks. We'll return. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon. He is in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Tom.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back, Reese on the radio, as the big voice just said, here on WTIC. We've got, let me see, in this hour, I am going to talk about, another scam. I'll get into that in a second. There's a new scam going on that you may not be aware of. Okay, and this scam is absolutely crazy. And again, of course, it affects the most vulnerable people in our society. And it is what's called the application fee to move into a home. In my head, I was like, why wouldn't I know about that? Why would that not be something I'm familiar with? And I don't really think about it. See, this is how I know that I'm not a scum. Like, I'm not scum. Because I would have never thought that this was going on. I have paid fees like these in the past, but I'll get into that in a second. Let me get to the phones real quick. What's up, Frankie?
Well, a couple of things. One, you made a great point. White people aren't going to be a minority. Now, I made this statement 10 years ago, and someone had the nerve to call me a racist. I said, if you take the debt in this country, and when that day happens, that will be the end of this country as an empire. Yep. And he didn't let me explain why. Because the education for minorities in this country is an absolute disgrace.
Exactly.
It is. And with the education of other countries, we know who they are. A couple of them are China and Pakistan. Mm-hmm. And if they build up their military and what's going on with the BRICS, trying to destroy the dollar, mm-hmm. It won't be long. It won't be long before America will go down the same road. And
that's the crazy part about it is that we have actual societies in this country that frown upon the education system and the education of others. And believe that because they don't have it or even bother to get it, that for some odd reason the rest of us should just relinquish any amount of power or any amount of influence that we have so we can give it up to a bunch of people who are too lazy to get up off their ass.
Exactly. Now, but I got the second thing now is you didn't bring this story up. I'm a little disappointed in it.
Which one is that one?
Carol Levitt's nephew's mother. The Brazilian.
Why would I talk about this? This story has no legs. People are trying to make this an issue because she's a beautiful Brazilian, and I hear that they finally released her of some sort. Like
right here it is. It is right here. She was released on $1,500 bail.
Yeah,
where she can appeal her deportation case.
Okay.
Now last night I saw a picture of her in a string bikini.
Oh,
Reese. Now let me tell you something. You know me. I tell you what I think. This is why I get in trouble. But that woman to make a priest take his collar off.
No, I'm not denying that she is an attractive woman. I saw her picture too, and I'm not going to lie. Nope. I'm using that word because I'm married and my wife listens. She's an attractive woman, but the first thing that ran through my mind was, seriously, I said, you know what? She's somebody else's problem. And that's the extent of it. I don't think, look, beautiful women are everywhere and they're not in this country. I can deal with that. I've got a beautiful woman in my own country. I don't have to care whether or not she's here or not, or she's deported.
You nailed it on the head. The beautiful women are not, unless she's the queen, black and beautiful.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Look at the damage these white women are doing. That's another thing. There is nothing more destructive in life than a white woman who's a liberal Democrat who believes in abortion. Look at the damage she's causing.
You know what? I'll admit, listen, as inflammatory as it is to say, there are white liberal women who, again, make no sense to me, because if you see them with their children are the most, loved and cared about children that I know of. I know that they do. But when they're talking about other people and their, reproductive rights that they like to use, they are absolutely reckless on that front. And I don't get it. It's so hypocritical.
Mental illness.
Yeah, it is mental illness. Thank you, buddy. Let me get to a couple more, man. Let's go to Gary in Southington. Hello, sir.
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
I'm good, sir. What's up?
Hey, I listened yesterday when Jerry came on.
Oh,
Jerry Williams.
Jerry Williams.
I was surprised. I didn't know. I know Jerry for a long time. Really
okay.
Good friend.
Good guy.
So he does comedy.
I did not know that.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's a comedian?
Yeah, besides the DJ.
Oh, okay. He seems multifaceted.
Well, I think he won. He did it at some pretty big places, and I think that he was a finalist in something.
Really?
So anyway, so I do comedy too, and Jerry's always supported me. But you know what? I wonder about a relationship, because he told me, yeah, Gary, you say you're a Christian comedian, but you got half of it down. Yeah, I don't appreciate that.
Wait a minute, which part is the half you got down?
The first part, Christian.
No, that's the second part, Christian. The comedian part you didn't. That's actually a pretty good joke, man.
I use that in my show sometimes.
No, that's a good joke, Gary. I appreciate it.
But you guys were talking about something, and I thought about something really funny that pertained to that. What were you guys? I can't remember what it is now. What were you talking about yesterday? You remember?
I think. Well, what I was accusing Jerry of was he became a Salvation Army stalker, and then through his stalking actually ended up working for them.
Yeah, no, I heard you say that, but you were talking about something else too.
Oh, I couldn't remember offhand, man. My head has been everywhere. I apologize, buddy.
So, and also I wanted to ask you, aren't you doing the holiday store thing?
I am. I've been doing it for days now.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be in Glastonbury. Come on by, 65.
What time?
At same hours here, 2 to 6.
Oh, 2 to 6. Where is it in Glastonbury?
Glastonbury at the Homewood Suites by Hilton.
The Homewood Suites. All right, I'll see if I can get over there.
You got it, boss man. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Let's go to Ryan, who's in Coventry. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I just looked up that Carolyn Levitt's family member there, and I just wanted to say, you know, Trump's policy has been if she's a 9, she's fine. So I agree with you. This is a non-story.
It is a non-story, and I think how they were trying to make it a story, and it sort of backfired because it would have been a bigger scandal, or at least a created one, like a manufactured scandal, if the Trump administration, or Caroline Levitt for that matter, had shielded her from ever being deported. Then the media can say everybody else has got to get deported except their family member who's, here illegally. They could have done that, but they actually deported her and then tried to make it, oh my God, they're so ruthless. They're ruthless that anybody, even her brother's, baby mama had to get deported, and it didn't fly and nobody cared.
Exactly. Hey, Reese, you're doing a great job with the Salvation Army as well. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, man. You too. Merry Christmas. Mike is in Thomaston. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Mike, there you go. How are you, sir?
Hey, Reese, I just heard you mention application fees.
Yes,
I have a really good friend that I watched start. He's worth multiple millions now and has started flipping cars and into houses, all that. I can get you in touch with him, and he can perfectly explain why landlords in Connecticut are doing that now.
Okay, good. I need this guy. So, listen, do me a favor. I'm going to put you on hold, and the reason why I want to talk to him, and tell me if I'm sort of over the target. So, from what I'm understanding, or at least the way it's been presented to me, is that some of these landlords will end up never renting these apartments, or if they do, it's very seldom that they ever rent it, but they found this sort of angle where they'll get all of these applications for rent, the rental applications, and they'll just keep turning over hundreds of thousands of dollars and never rent the place and kind of make revenue that way. And some renters don't even know that they're supposed to receive paperwork that says that these checks, because they're it's two-pronged. One is a background check and the other one is a credit check, right? And so one is $35 and the other background check is like $10. So it's like $35 for one, $10 for the other. And they're supposed to provide proof that they actually use your money to do that. But there are some renters who pay that and don't know that they're supposed to receive that paperwork.
I can see some landlords in Connecticut doing that, seeing there are a lot of scummy landlords in this state.
Indeed.
But this guy, he's above board. He wouldn't be as lucrative as he is if he wasn't. And he'll perfectly explain why he does it and why he offers it to other landlords.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I'm going to put you on hold and I'll get that number, okay?
Yep.
You got it. Thanks, man. Yeah, so that's, again, here's what the breakdown is. So to give you sort of a sort of understanding of where my query went. So I get word that low-income families can't get into an apartment or don't get into an apartment for that matter. And the landlord says, okay, fine, there's an application fee. You fill out all the paperwork, as many places do. You give them all your breakdown, and what they want to find out is, in most cases, is to find out if you can afford to pay the rent there. That is usually done with a background check, criminal history, or if you have a poor credit score or a good credit score, to make sure that you can maintain the rent at that location. Fine. I think it's like $35 for the background check, about $10 for the credit check. You pay it. Now, according to Connecticut law, and it turns out a lot of people don't know this, especially those in the low-income community, that you're supposed to get that report sent back to you if you're rejected. Like if you pay the fee, whether you get the apartment or not, the application fee is non-refundable. But they are supposed to provide you with that paperwork to prove that the credit check and the background check was done. That's sort of the proof of purchase, if you will. So I was looking this up when I got wind of this happening. Let me get to the information that I gathered here. And I want to make sure I got it here. According to this information, and I thought I had it right in front of me. Maybe I don't. I thought I did. Maybe I have to scroll up a little bit. This was, in many cases, not being sent to, I don't have it here. Okay, it wasn't being sent or given to the people who had filed it. In other words, you just got a rejection notice or you were told, no, we went with somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Never getting your actual background check sent to you, because with that rejection, you're supposed to get it. And because you don't know, you're just, in essence, paying that money. Now imagine the landlord is getting 50 folks applying for an apartment. And that's a large scale. Hell, if it's 10, that's a lot. 10 people at $50, that's $500 right there. It's a month's rent. In many cases. Now, I know people are saying, it's like, really, Reese is like, well, 20 is $1,000. You can get how many people in a month's time? You're renting an apartment. People are applying for it. Let's say you're getting 2 people a week who are applying for that application. I'm getting now is that it's a huge scam done on purpose to scam illegals. Sometimes the scammers use foreclosed houses to do the scam. Now, I'm getting that from a very reputable source, I might add. That one's a very reputable source. I can't reveal who it is, but trust me when I tell you, the person who's telling me is very, very reputable. I didn't even know that part of it. That's scary as hell. So that's something that needs to be addressed because they say it's against the law. According to this report, it's supposed to be against the law. Now, I don't know if there's any hefty penalty if you do it. Let me see if I can actually find this this piece that was on it. And I probably didn't send it to myself. I'm going to have to look it up again. But I want to go deep into this when I get a chance. I just have to find out where I put the paperwork for it so I can read it to you. But it's really, really crazy. Hey, Michael A., how are you? Also, when we come back, this individual inside my chat room, clearly a new guy to the show. And, I don't mind you being new, Hamilton. Please come on back, buddy. But you always come back. I'll set you straight. You're going to do some learning today. All of that, Yaza bossing and shoe shining that the Negroes got you doing out there in the hood, that's going to come to an end today. We're going to set you straight. I understand that, a lot of you brothers in the hood y'all have figured it out, repeating the same nonsense you've been taught from every other so-called black scholar. That's okay. All right? Don't worry. The Frederick Douglass of the 21st century is going to free the slaves today. All right? And you're my number one student. I'll put you right here in the front of the desk. You're going to be teacher's pet today. I got you, brother. You're going to be all right. All right, stand by. More news, more views. Tom O'Hanlon, he's filling in for Mark Christopher today. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
Anyway, we'll get to that Ericka Kirk story as well. So stand by for that. And plus, we'll take your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. So Ken in Bloomfield, hold on. I promise I will get to you. Also, we'll finish up with this whole scandal with the rental application. And according to this report, it says that it's a $1 billion headache. And the scams are very pronged. Like there's several prongs to it. There's the fake listing, the mass application harvest, the identity theft part of it, the pre-tour or move-in junk fees that they actually use as well. And most of it, and I kept this report central to Connecticut. Like I didn't do the national numbers. I try to keep it straight within Connecticut. And it's crazy because outside of just the slumlord issue, this is another issue that's going on. And if it's that much money, somebody should be paying attention to it. I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, somebody should be paying attention to it. So we'll read some of that as well. Also, before we get into the break, let me tell you what happened. This is the scary part about all of this is that newcomers never really pay attention to this show. And they use words like never and always. And it's always emotional people. I have no tolerance for emotional men. None. So Hamilton, listen to me when I tell you. When I say I have no tolerance for it, none. Readjust your panty liner. Please stop coming to me and use words like always and never. And please keep your feelings out of it when talking to another man. Okay? Just try to have a conversation. Stop worrying about your feelings. No one cares about them. No one. My wife cares nothing about my feelings at all. She wants to make sure that I am ready to go to take care of her, stand up to any bully or some menace that may come her way. She doesn't care about how I feel about it. Please do not address me ever again with your feelings. Stop crying. Man up. Okay? And I don't care if all that old saying man up is sissification. I don't care. I don't care. If I ever meet you, if you ever come to one of our events and you come shake my hand, please have a firm grip and look me in the eye. If you come at me with enchanté, with your fingers up, don't bother. Just don't bother. He uses words like, you never said a positive word about anyone who is black on your program. Let me give you a few. Thomas Sowell, Shelby Steele, Walter Williams, Booker T. Washington, Frederick Douglass, Clarence Thomas. There are plenty of African-American men who I discuss on this program. There is no such thing as never. Never. Also, if you suggest that what I played was dangerous, perhaps the bozos who said it live on television shouldn't have done it, because what they said was dangerous. I didn't say a thing. And again, stop crying. Man up and grow up. Grow a pair. But all that whining and stuff, please do that anywhere else. Stephen. Stephen. We got to take another break. We got to do weather and traffic. Tom O'Hanlon. He's filling in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Sorry to hear about Fritz. Tell Chrissy I said, hey, we'll see you soon. Tom O'Hanlon, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll be back.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, we are back, and let me get to the phones real quick before I finish up this thing about the rent scam that's going on. Ken's in Bloomfield. How are you, Ken?
Good, Reese. So the only thing I was calling, I've been hearing on your station last few days about this affordable housing.
Yes.
The problem, what it is, what they're offering the land in Hartford, is that it's unfeasible unless the city of Hartford would say they're not going to charge taxes.
Right.
Because you got $700 a month, say, in taxes on the house. Then you got the dumpster. That's another $200 a month. Then you got
whoa! The dumpster is two. Wait! The dumpster.
Yeah.
You talking about the dumpster? Are you talking about regular garbage, or are you talking about the dumpster?
Yeah. For garbage. Yeah.
Regular garbage is $200 a month in Hartford.
Yeah, sure.
Holy moly!
And then you got your insurance you need on the place for fire and damage. It's unfeasible. There's no way anybody in the world can manage a place, keep it up and everything for $700 a month. It just can't happen.
No, especially for a landlord, for that matter.
Right. That's what I'm saying. A landlord, he's not going to make any money. He'll lose it. What's going to happen is they're going to hand the money out like they always do because they don't do enough investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of con artists are going to take the land, start the project, unbalance the bid, grab the money up front, and run it and walk away.
Yeah. Now, Ken, the way that this was described to me was, imagine you're a landlord, right? You can do this every month. You can run, hey, my apartment's available, such and such, right? You get a couple of people who fill out these applications. They pay the application fee. It's anywhere between $40 and $50 on average, right?
Right.
You have people who don't know that according to the Connecticut law, they're supposed to get a report filed by the landlord or the potential landlord that says, here's what we found and here's why you were denied. Somebody just texted me, Ken, that says that a lot of the people they're running this $50 scam on, which of course is causing them to get this, $500, $600, even $1,000 a month, is that
don't own the apartment, right?
Yeah, it's all on the apartment. But here's the crazy part: the people who they're getting to pay the application fee to are more than likely illegals or people who don't understand the system.
Right. And the people that are doing it isn't legitimate landlords. What it is, it's people that rent an apartment, show the apartment to a bunch of people and
oh,
actually live in there too.
So you mean if I am renting it out,
for rent, really?
Right. So I'm renting out the apartment and I'm putting fake Craigslist ads, because that's on here too. So I put in a fake Craigslist ad, get that person to come in and look at the apartment and tell them it's an application fee for it, and that's how I collect $50. I could do that all day. In essence, I could sit at home and just make that.
Right. Those are the people that are doing it, not legitimate landlords. A legitimate landlord for $50, it ain't worth his time.
No, but there, according to this, I guess this group that does the statistics on it, right? So here they're talking about the mass application harvest. Landlord floods apartment with low rent bait, collects $40 to $100 per applicant per person, even for couples. Because if it's couples, he can do $40 per person. He runs a bogus check and then rejects everyone's or ghosts them. They pocket 3 to 6 times the monthly rent in fees before relisting months later.
Because he's not really a landlord. That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
They have an apartment they're showing, but he's not a true landlord, because the landlord doesn't have time for, $500 to a landlord isn't worth. He has to pay his worker to show the place to the people and do this, do that for $40.
My question is that how do you stop a crime like this? Because again, these 5, I think, 5 listed sort of tactics, and here's the 5 that are there. The fake listing, which is somebody posts a too good to be true ad for a $800 a month rent for an apartment, and it's a fake listing, and then somebody sends them dollars just like you're talking about, with fees as low as $50, as high as $350. Then there's
you
the
set it up like you do a hooker, Reese. How do you catch him? You just set a policeman up and have the policeman go to look at the thing.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
A second, but they don't want to,
Yeah, you're right. Then there's the identity theft thing, which is, again, that one's the scariest one. Because imagine if you're giving them all of your information for a background check, your Social Security number. That's crazy.
Right. So you really should meet somebody. You should have an office at the apartment complex you go to, because I do a lot of water and sewer repairs for the apartments like that, and they all have an office where I go get paid, and they got a rental girl right there. They don't do it over Craigslist.
Yeah, man, again, this is something I would have never thought about, and this whole time my wife is looking for apartments before we found one. Thank God it was a legitimate establishment.
Yeah.
But
I mean, buyer beware. You got to go. You got to go to a legitimate thing. How many people go buy something cash and meet somebody in a back alley and they get cheated? Well, they're going to get cheated in the first place.
It's true, because so many people have so many obstacles to go through because they can't. There are so many people out there who can't go to a legitimate business to get an apartment because of several things like credit checks and things like that. They got to go any way they can, and they do these handshake deals, and next thing you know, they're scammed out of hundreds of dollars.
Well, go to a real apartment place and explain the situation, and maybe they'll listen if you took time to explain it. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, buddy. Thank you.
Take it easy. Nice talking to you.
You got it, Ken. Thank you. Let's go to Dave in Branford. How are you, sir?
Yeah, quick, something that came up. So much of the background check is not even legitimate to ask anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking stuff like your age or drug use or criminal history. The Lamont with his second chance society.
Right.
If you've got a felony record, you can't even ask it. They used to call it eliminate the box.
That now? I meant to ask that because it was so funny. I was thinking about that the other day. Because I know some states that say that it is now considered, I think New York is one of them, it is now illegal to ask for somebody's criminal background when they're trying to get an apartment or a job?
Yes, that's state by state. And so what happens is the landlords have like an independent underground internet trading, the bad tenants, don't rent to Reese. He snorts up every night, whatever it is. And so they're, or that lady's juvenile kid whose records are sealed. He kicked down 3 doors in the, on my 3rd floor hall last year, and it's expunged. You can't find it legally, but believe me, I was the landlord. I fixed the doors, and they trade that kind of stuff because, it's the only way to protect. So I just want to get that out there. A lot of this background check stuff, it's not even legal to ask for. So if they're purporting to supply background checks or charge for it, I'm not sure what information they're even trading.
Yeah, now that you bring that up, because in essence what you're saying is that if the second chance program that Lamont has implemented forbids you to actually look up their background. First of all, I think that's counterproductive. But if that's the case, then they're it's almost like scamming 2 times.
Yeah, this is Senator Winfield's thing out of New Haven.
Gotcha.
And there's certain violent felonies that don't get expunged, and certain other ones do get expunged.
Gotcha.
And, is it 3 years or 7 years? Okay, 2 more things. I'll try to go really quick. Last Friday, I think you were mentioning one of the things that attracted you to your wife was that she looked Jewish.
Yes.
Apparently is one of your things. And she reported, what a mic drop moment. And I thought you were black. I thought that was... Man, I
have to admit that is kind of a rehearsst Burns and Allen bit that we do. And
that's exactly the term I would have used. That was a Burns and Allen act. And I think your wife, when I mentioned something like, she said, it is not an act. It's exactly me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to mention is in America, we rate everything. The best basketball team, the best football team, the best schools, et cetera. But we can't rate cultures. Successful cultures versus unsuccessful. And because of the duty that the president stepped in with the Somalian, there was, and I wish I could prove it. Usually I fact check my own stuff if I say it on the radio. About a year ago, there was in the New York Post, there was a thing about the Somalian immigrants.
Uh-huh.
And they government did a deep dive on them the way the IRS used to do what they called the anal exam for a certain small percentage of taxpayers just to see what the latest scams are. And so they did it on these Somalians, and they found out between 75 and 80% made factual misrepresentations on their legal, publicly available documents that they would submit about, number of children, the parents of the children, who they're married to, not married to, income, and even other things like applications to SNAP programs. And if there's such a thing as a culture of crime, and I would use the word euchre. Apparently not too many people use that word anymore.
Ooh.
Do you know it's spelled E-U-C-H-R-E, euchre, which, kind of rob by trickery or devious design.
Yes.
And it seems like these Muslim Somalians, and, I'll get in a lot of trouble for mentioning
No, you're 100% right. Listen, the statistics should bear out the truth. And you're 100% right, because you also have to ask the question, right? What is a cultural identifier when it comes to Somalia? One, it is considered one of the most corrupt countries in Africa. The fact that it rivals the Republic of Congo, says something.
And so I'll end it on this. I don't want to be too clever. It seems like their cultural thing is to saddle up and ride we compliant Western democracy
Indeed.
for all they can burn us for. Thanks for letting me on.
Not a problem, sir. Always good.
Bye.
Yeah, 100% right. And again, I was just seeing this. I was watching a statistic the other day about that, and it's like I'm looking at the numbers. When you have that Jayapal woman saying that these Somalis built America in that state, I'm like, they built that town? And my response to that is over 45% of them are on food stamps. 2/3 of them are on some government program, be it Section 8 or else, or other things. Forget about the Medicaid. I don't mind all that stuff. But all of the other programs that they're on shows that there's no contribution to society. It's all take. More than 2/3 of the society of Somalians are on the dole? And then to suggest with a straight face that they built the society, it makes me laugh. These folks. Absolutely incredible. Speaking of cultures, another thing that Hamilton wrote in the chat room. The graduation rate. He was. Let me go back a little bit because it's important to put context in his words. He was writing about HBCUs. This is an important point. Apparently, Hamilton has never been to an HBCU or has never had children attend them. I have, so I'm speaking from experience. I even had to redirect a young soul away from an HBCU and got her to accept the offer she was given from LSU, I might add. Her name is Layla. And she is a positive, strong, and bright black woman. 20 years old. She was going to go to a HBCU because she thought that was culturally acceptable. I think I want to go to a HBCU. I said, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't waste your talents at an HBCU. Anyway, he writes, for the overwhelming majority of our existence here, it has been legal to discriminate against us in multiple ways. Yeah, just like the Irish and the Italians, you know? Without papers need not apply? Huh? Yeah. There's been discrimination for years. Yeah, I know it very well. Yet we survived. Like any other, civilization, they should be able to survive no matter what comes after them, no matter what problems that they have. They must survive. That's how you separate the weak from the strong. Right? They have to fight something. Is it supposed to be, you think it's supposed to be a cakewalk? Well, because you got 85% melanin in your skin? Nobody's supposed to bother you or push back against you? That's how you find out whether or not your culture is worth existing. It's by fighting back against the odds. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were, everyone would do it. Anyway, that being said, yet we created the single largest ethnic university system of HBCUs. To which I told him the graduation rate at all HBCUs combined is 38%. All HBCUs combined is 38%. One school in Virginia, an HBCU, has a graduation rate of 17%. 17 of all students. That's what he says. He writes, the graduation rate among HBCUs varies considerably. Oh, no, sir. It never reaches above 30 to 38 to 40%. Never achieves half. They are clearly some that bring the graduation percentage down. Yes, the uneducated, losers who drop out. That's right. The ones who think it's more important to join Rush and to not go to class because education cannot be sold in the black community. They look down upon it. They'd rather be ignorant than smart. Like every one of the comments you made here in the chat room. Yes, you embrace ignorance because it's culturally accepted. That's why. They did this at the time when college degree did not afford blacks much opportunity. Know your history, buddy. There was a time when that was all black folks did, was get their degrees. When they became some of the most educated folks. Go check out Harlem, Time Magazine's Harlem in 100 Years. You'll see how many African Americans, how many black folks graduated from universities and owned their own businesses. Do your research, buddy. Do your research. That step and fetch it nonsense that you're trying to sell here to this black man will not sell. It will not sell. We don't buy here. We don't like telling tales about how black people are inferior and how the white man kept us down. I definitely don't adhere to that nonsense, but that's okay. You come on back now, you hear, as I always like to say. Come on back. We're going to get you the education you need. Come on and hang out with the white folks. They won't hurt you. Yes, I know I'm mean. I don't care. I don't care. These people think they're going to bully me with the whole, you're an Uncle Tom. Oh. Tom O'Hanlon is in the BPS Traffic Center. We'll be back.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Of course, I didn't hear you when you said that it was we were going back up. Of course, I missed it. I missed the whole darn thing. Let's do it. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. Sounds better when we're in the studio. Do you know that there was somebody, Debbie from the what do you call it, from Salvation Army yesterday? The other Debbie, it's a different Debbie. She was in there. She listens to the program, and she heard me do Hollywood News Live yesterday, and she goes, I thought that was taped.
She thought it was a recording, right?
So I was like, what? Are you serious? She goes, yeah, I didn't know that you did the whole thing live. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, really? I would have, I don't know. I would have never guessed it.
Well, maybe we definitely could do it.
Yeah, I guess we could, right?
Make it like,
So we just play the audio.
Yeah, just
right?
play the audio.
I like doing it live.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, me too. I love your part too. It feels unnatural if you're not doing that part. Anyway, so today, I don't know if you've noticed this or knew this, but they dropped the new Supergirl trailer today. Now, the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because the only Supergirl for me is Helen Slater. I'm sorry. And I know the movie was awful. I know it was god-awful. But there was one woman from the old Supergirl movie. I know Faye Dunaway, I think, was in it. But there was one woman who was in the old Supergirl movie with Helen Slater. And that was a woman that I had a huge crush on. And you would have never figured this out, but I loved her voice. I was crazy about this woman and her voice. That was none other than Brenda Vaccaro. You guys don't know. You don't understand. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. I loved Brenda Vaccaro. And she's in that movie. Her voice was she was like a female Harvey Feinstein. She had a very raspy voice. Brenda Vaccaro. That a lot of you guys are not going to know her. You're looking her up now. I know it. Let's go to Tom O'Hanlon filling in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
It's so bizarre to go back all the way to November of 1984, which, again, they wanted that movie to fail. You don't drop a comic book film on November 19th. Before Thanksgiving. That's when Supergirl came out. I'm looking at that now. So Brenda Vaccaro, which Roland is now throwing in my face, was born in 1939.
Jeez. Good Lord.
Mind you, I was born in 1969.
Yeah, there you go.
She was, the movie came out literally a day after her birthday. Brenda Vaccaro was 44 years old turning 45, I must say, turning 45 when the movie came out. I was 15 at the time.
When she played Supergirl at 44 years old?
No. She was not Supergirl. She played a character named Bianca.
Okay.
Her character was sort of like Faye Dunaway was the antagonist, sort of the bad guy and Brenda Vaccaro was her was sort of like her sidekick, so to speak. And Brenda Vaccaro was kind of like this doty, very grandmothery sort of figure. I've always loved her because she showed up on everything I ever watched on television, right? If it wasn't Matlock, it wasn't on Murder, She Wrote, or The Love Boat, she was everywhere. She's just a character actress. But I loved her raspy voice. And I was just crazy about everybody knew this when I was younger. In my 20s, I talked about Brenda Vaccaro a lot growing up. Because I just loved her voice and I loved her big hair look. I just did. I definitely had a crush on her. And I was 15. I didn't understand someone being 45. I didn't get that. I just remembered that I really did like Brenda Vaccaro. Whenever she was on TV and I listened to her talk. Same thing with, what's her name? Not Katharine Hepburn. What was the girl from Romancing the Stone? And, oh, goodness gracious, her name is escaping me now. But she was in all of those Romancing the Stone movies with Kirk. She played in War of the Roses. Somebody's going to tell me. For the life of me, I can't remember. I know it's Catherine something.
Kathleen Turner?
Kathleen Turner, yes, that's her name. Absolutely deep, dark voice. Demi Moore, deep, dark voice. I always loved that. A woman with a very... I hate to use the word. I don't mean it in a bad way, but kind of a husky feminine voice. It sounds horrible. But, yes, and Brenda Vaccaro just had a very raspy voice. She didn't have like a grandmother voice like she smoked too much Pall Mall. So it was like, hey, why don't I run you a bubble bath?
This Marge Simpson's sister.
Yes, exactly. Why don't I run you a bubble bath, darling? I think you and I can have a romantic dinner. That wasn't the voice I was looking for. Not at all. So I was thinking about that. So the new Supergirl trailer dropped today. It's coming out next year, of course. The girl who's playing Supergirl, not a fan of. She's got a weird jawline. And she's from do you watch that show, House of Dragons?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, she plays in the first season of House of Dragons, she's a very young girl.
Oh, yeah.
She has a weird jawline.
They escalated the age of that, like, tremendously.
Really?
The first season, there would be a little girl, and then, the first episode.
Right.
Then, 3 episodes later.
She's, grown?
Yeah, she's from 4 to 16. Golly.
Yeah, I watched the first couple of episodes with Roseanne. She fell out of favor with it very quick.
Yeah, I did too, but I committed to it because I love Game of Thrones.
Yes.
So I had to watch it, but it's a lot of incest in that, man.
Is it really?
That's the part. That's the part that I was like, I can't watch this no more. Man.
Isn't it so crazy that they try to normalize that in these? And it's so the fandom of these TV
you're
shows.
Gonna marry your first cousin, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
The depravity is absolutely on, it's on craziness on these shows. It's funny that you mentioned, because I think I watched the episode, the last episode I watched was when they sent the boy out to go deliver a message, and he was coming back, and they sent out the dragon to get him.
Yeah.
And you were waiting till the end. It's like, I know the dragon's going to come and get him. And it's like literally the last scene, the dragon actually comes and knocks him out of the sky and kills him. That was the last episode I watched.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was the season finale, right?
No, I don't think that was a season finale.
But that was the last one I watched. I was just like, they're killing kids now. Yep. I'm like, I can't. You know what's so funny, talking about killing kids? So I got probably the greatest achievement I ever got in a newspaper was David Hinckley of the New York Daily News. He apparently was listening when this happened. So I had to give a review of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I had to give that on the air because I'd gone to the premiere and I wanted to wait till everybody saw it and I didn't want to give up any spoilers. Anyway, I had to give the review. So I was given 5, maybe 10 minutes on the air to talk about what my review was. And I watched that movie, and I will tell you that I railed against George Lucas in this movie because they had the scene. You didn't see it, but you had the scene where Anakin is about to kill all the younglings. And all you see is just a little boy standing there, frightened, when Anakin's lightsaber lights up. And you just go, oh, my God. It's a scene I don't even need.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even need that scene. I'm like, okay, we get it. He's evil. But to see the little boy standing there just going, Master Anakin, what's going on? So you know he's going to kill him. I go, oh, my goodness. So the next day I'm on the air, and I say to everybody, I'm like, look, at this point, George Lucas should never be allowed to hold a disposable camera, much less one making a film. This is absolutely disgusting. It's despicable. I was screaming with my head off. I was like, I couldn't believe it. You're George Lucas. How are you going to go from Jar Jar Binks to murdering kids in a film? For a second there, it's like, Misa Jar Jar. The next thing you know is like, hey, kill the kid. Come on, what's wrong with you? And I just lost it. It just really, really annoyed me. So when I saw that, what was it, House of Dragons?
Yep.
Yeah, when I saw that, and they killed this a young kid, I'm just going, the only thing worse than that is...
They did a lot of that in...
Game of Thrones?
Yeah, well, not a lot, but they definitely killed some kids.
Yeah, but it's only done for shock value. You don't need to do that. I was like, don't normalize that kind of stuff in film. That bothers me.
But they're trying to say that kind of thing was happening back in the medieval time.
I get it. It's like shooting. Look, it's another thing you can't do in a film. You can't shoot a dog. Just don't. Or at least don't shoot a dog and have the dog die. Right? Like the opening of John Wick. I'm not going to lie. I watched that movie just because I wanted him to get revenge for that dog. After that, I didn't care. But why kill the dog?
Whoever killed that dog, they caused 1,000 people to die.
Exactly. Which, again, I'll tell you, I did kind of get it. It's like, what caused all this to happen? It's like they killed his dog. And everybody in the movie's like, that tracks. It's like, that makes sense to me. I don't know. It just bothered me. Anyway, so if you're going to see Supergirl, just go check out the trailer. Tell me what you think. If you watch that show, what's it called again? The other show that she was on, the prequel, Master of Dragons. What is it called? I forgot the name of it already.
What?
House of Dragons.
House of Dragons, yeah.
Yes. The girl who played the young something on House of Dragons.
Now, did she play the little girl or like the older?
The teenager.
The teenager, okay.
Yeah, she played her. Yeah, so she's now Supergirl. She doesn't look the part, though. She has a weird jawline. And apparently this Supergirl drinks a lot. She's an alcoholic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not a Supergirl then, it's a Superwoman.
It's a Supergirl. Well, she's a Supergirl, but I mean in the sense of she goes to red planets where she can get inebriated because a yellow sun she won't. So she goes to planets with a red sun so she can get drunk. And apparently she has an alcohol problem. I don't get this. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It just, again, what's the purpose of this? And you know that I have to go see it now.
Yep.
Just because
of
all of this other stuff.
The whole story. You got to see the whole story.
Exactly. I've got to see the whole story. So that's where we are. I want to get to this before I get to any phone calls. So Ericka Kirk has been making the rounds as of late. And as you know, her husband, Charlie Kirk, was murdered months ago. And she has now been named by her peers at Turning Point USA. She has been named the CEO of that organization. And the organization has been growing, and many people were fearful that without Charlie Kirk, it would lose direction. So as the CEO of that company and now the face of it, which had to happen, it would have happened under any other circumstances. Right? If Claretta Scott King had decided to take on the mantle of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., no one would have batted an eye if she was trying to keep his so-called dream alive, right? No one would. If she was doing interviews after the fact, no one would have batted an eye. Jackie Onassis, or Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis for that matter, if she was doing interviews after the murder of her husband, no one would have batted an eye. If she was trying to bring attention to violence or political violence in our country because of the things that her husband believed, no one would have batted an eye if she had done it. But they're doing it for Ericka Kirk because she's out there named CEO at Turning Point, and she's doing interviews, and she's addressing things like the scandal, or I don't want to call it a scandal, but the back and forth that's going between her folks at Turning Point USA and Candace Owens on her program, spewing what I can only describe as some of the most nonsensical stuff I've ever heard. You know, it was the Jews, it was the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, all of this nonsense that Candace Owens has been doing to get attention, whatever it is. And making, as Ericka puts it, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day spewing conspiracy theories for the sake of spewing conspiracy theories because people like that kind of stuff. Anyway, someone posted on X, and I don't know who it is and I don't care, but they tried to make an issue of this. And this is the part that made me laugh. And I was like, what? Someone said, why isn't Ericka Kirk at home with her children instead of out on the stump doing interviews? And my immediate response to that was, wait a minute. Are you people insane? Are the same leftists telling Ericka Kirk to get back in the kitchen? After all of that hoopla about screw your career, screw your family life and get out on the road and make something of yourself, run a corporation, don't be hog-tied to the Susie Homemaker thing. And this woman's out there actually doing a job, a CEO of an organization, and you guys are telling her, get back in the kitchen? And for me, it only meant one thing. Obviously, she's being effective. She's been effective. That's the only way I could look at it. To actually see leftists saying, Ericka Kirk, get back in the house. It was the most baffling thing ever. Get back in the house. Do not make a career of Turning Point USA. And to be honest with you, I think we should seize on this. I think we should seize on this. We should get Democrats to actually start forcing them to promote women to get back home and be Susie homemakers. I think we should do that. I really do. We should get Democrats. So Democrats, I'm going to make sure we get this right. So Ericka Kirk should get back home and take care of the kids, huh? Is that what she should do? Let a man run Turning Point USA? Is that's what she should do? That's what I want. I want to see that. I want to see more of that. Boy, if the Democrats could get on board with that, imagine what we'd be able to accomplish. It's not like I didn't do it. It's not like I didn't do it. I can't take anybody now, can I? No, I got a minute left. Anyway, we'll talk some more. More news and more views. Tomorrow we are back at Glastonbury at the Homewood Suites by Hilton on Glastonbury Boulevard. We'll be there from 2 to 6 tomorrow. And I think, and I'm positive that we have Senator Dick Blumenthal on the program tomorrow. Senator Richard Blumenthal is going to join Reese on the radio on the air tomorrow, so do not miss it. White Mike would be really happy, Lori says in the chat room. Well, guess what, Lori? You'll never guess who's waiting on deck right now. None other than White Mike.
Tomlin is going to be giving it up.
He's sitting right now, waiting on deck. We'll get to him in a minute, so you can hear his take live. It's so funny how that synergy worked out. Lori mentions White Mike. White Mike shows up in the queue. Beautiful. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Tom O'Hanlon. He's filling in for Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
Don't forget, you can always do that. And, of course, we are everywhere now where podcasts are available. And you can go there anywhere, but download the Odyssey app if you haven't already, or go to WTIC.com or ReeseOnTheRadio.com. Actually, there's another woman. Someone sent me a message that asked me about Suzanne Plachette, since I like husky voices. Yes, absolutely, I do. But now there's another woman that I, again, just thought about. Her voice is also amazing, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name. If you remember, folks, and if you haven't seen this movie, please go check it out. It's called The House of Sand and Fog, and it stars Ben Kingsley and, why am I forgetting her name? Jennifer Connelly. Jennifer Connelly and Ben Kingsley. And I'm positive both won an Academy Award for this movie, House of Sand and Fog. But the woman who plays Ben Kingsley's wife is a woman by the name of Shohreh Aghdashloo. She's been in everything from, I think she's in Star Trek. There's another sci-fi TV show on Prime that she's on. She has another amazing voice, and it's got a little bit of an English tinge to it. I believe she's Indian, but her voice is absolutely beautiful. I love hearing her speak, and she's so proper. But she, again, big crush on her. Totally reminds me of Brenda Vaccaro back in the days. It's people keep thinking I'm insane for saying that. I was 15 years old. Half the women that I was crazy about were older than me. You know, can you imagine? I'm a 15-year-old guy. I was in love with Farrah Fawcett. I had to get the Corpus Christi because I saw Farrah Fawcett on the Battle of the Network Stars. She got on the screen and said, "Hi, I'm Farrah. I'm from Corpus Christi, Texas." I was like, I got to find out where they make these people. That was exactly my point. How are you going to see Farrah Fawcett? You say, well, I got to find out what's in the water over there. I was 15. I don't even know how old Farrah Fawcett was. She was clearly older than me. She had to be in her 20s. Farrah Fawcett is a product of the 70s and the early 80s. She's the most photographed woman in the world. at the time. So most of the girls, Heather Locklear, older than me. Not much older, but older. Considerably older. At least 10, 15 years. What boy didn't like girls that were older than him? You remember the Pepsi commercial with, what's her name? Cindy Crawford? With the two boys that see her go and get the Pepsi at the gas station? What are those boys, like 10, 11? They're like, wow. As long as we have a Mary Kay Letourneau situation, it's absolutely normal. Let's take a break. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon filling in for Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right. We're about to get up out of here tomorrow. Again, 2:30. Well, you can join us at 2, of course. But at 2:30, I am going to pull off something that I wanted to do for, I want to say, wow, at least 10, 15 years. Just something I want to do is not only as a gift to you, but also a gift to the Salvation Army. And it was Roseanne's idea, but it was something I always wanted to do. But Roseanne was actually the person who said, maybe you can do that thing. And we're going to do it tomorrow. We got confirmation yesterday. And I think the folks at the Salvation Army are going to be very, very surprised. And they will be very grateful that we're going to do it in the spirit of Christmas. It's going to be fun. So make sure you tuned in at about 2:30. If you're at your office desk, just turn it on. It's going to be pleasant, and I think everybody will enjoy it. And I'm really excited for it to go down. So that'll be tomorrow at the Homewood Suite by Hilton. That is at 65 Glastonbury Boulevard. We'll be there at 2 o'clock, as we have been back and forth between them and Avon Old Farms from 2 to 6. And we've got plenty of people talking. As I said, Senator Dick Blumenthal will be there as well. We'll talk to him for a little bit. I'll try to get him to stay for a little while longer. I'm going to try to keep it themed on the Salvation Army because he's a huge supporter of that. But I am going to ask him to investigate our DQuat thing. I'm going to ask him about it. I've sent him an email. I'm going to make sure that he reads it when he gets there to see if we can get him to get on board with this eco-harvesting. So we'll see what we can do. So look forward to that tomorrow as well. Make sure you're tuned in. With that, let's get to the phone so we can get up out of here. White Mike is in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Man, this Candace Owens, Ericka, Kirk thing is so weird. There's something wrong with Candace Owens. I think Owens was in love with Charlie Kirk, and it never happened for her, and now she's obsessing. That
really?
being said, something about Ericka Kirk creeps me out, dude. I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. There's something very off-putting about her.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see where people see that. I try to be objective in that, but I get where you're coming from. There is something that feels off.
Well, look, dude, I know more about Ericka Kirk than the average person because I'm an obsessive. Okay. Ericka Kirk is a hardcore evangelical Christian, like a Liberty University type.
Okay, yes. Yes, she is.
But also, a picture has just emerged of her celebrating the launch of the Arizona chapter of AIPAC.
Ooh. Now that's going to get her. That's going to get a lot of backlash from her.
Yeah, she's a hardcore Israel firster because she's one of these hardcore evangelicals that believe the God's chosen people and all that.
Right.
I don't think Charlie Kirk was. I think Charlie Kirk was more a pro-America, America first guy.
Yeah.
So that's some of the controversies coming in. Look, I don't think that that's any more complicated than that wacky guy shot Charlie Kirk.
Right.
But I think it's very telling that it's not unbelievable anything that these people say. Like, none of this stuff is beyond the pale. If you found out that the Israelis did whack Charlie Kirk, you wouldn't be surprised.
Right. I get what you're saying. Right. I mean, because we live in a conspiracy. Right now, because so many things that were written off as conspiracy have turned out to be true, that if indeed Candace Owens actually had some validity to what she's saying, none of us would bat an eye because we were saying, well, we're kind of in that era.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody really believe that Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK? I mean, really in their...
You know what? There's just too much evidence that, and I'm telling you, I was one of those guys who refused anything outside the norm when it came to Lee Harvey Oswald until I actually started talking to people who had far more knowledge than I did.
Anybody truly say they believe the findings of the 9/11 Commission?
No.
That's true?
No.
So any believable, dude, they've lied to us about everything.
Exactly.
It's so that some foreign government or our government whacked Charlie Kirk. It's also possible that crazy trainee guy did it. Who knows?
Yeah. Right.
But Ericka Kirk, by the way, get back to the thought. Ericka Kirk should 100% go back and be a full-time mother and drop out of the public eye because she can afford to do so. And her husband would want her to take care of her children more than anything.
Yeah. Okay. Now, wait a minute. Now, you're not some crazy leftist that, who's saying that because you're looking at it from the point of Turning Point USA on its own and the mark, the indelible mark of Charlie Kirk. Turning Point USA will be fine under the people who are running it now. It will be fine without her. And Charlie Kirk, he would more than likely want her to be home and take care of her children and make sure that they flourish.
Ericka Kirk is not Charlie Kirk. Ericka Kirk is an evangelical Israel firster.
Right.
Charlie not. He was religious, but he was, as we know from what Candace released, he was starting to realize that one country has too much influence, and he was backing off. Does it give validity to the theory they whacked him? Sure. Do I believe they whacked him? No.
Right.
Would I be surprised if they did? No.
Right.
That's where I am. I believe anything's possible. F it. You know what I mean? It's all possible.
But so when you say that she can be home and raise her children, you're talking from the aspect or the perspective of Charlie Kirk would want that because, of course, he loved his children more than anything in the world, and he would want their mother to be home with them.
He wouldn't want his kids being raised by a nanny so that Ericka Kirk can end up marrying J.D. Vance.
Ugh. Oh, don't make that creepy. I don't even want to think about that. But anyway, so, okay, but last but not least, on the Candace Owens thing, do you think that Candace is, like, mentally ill, or is she just taking advantage of the conspiracy theorist sort of, attitudes of the people who follow her and in essence will accept any conspiracy theory she throws out there?
I don't know what's worse in that situation. Either she's crazy, we're watching her have a Kanye West meltdown.
Yeah.
Or the most cynical grifter in history, we're watching her destroy her image for what she's making now. There's no good. But she makes Alex Jones look cogent.
Yeah, I can't. Listen to me. I cannot watch her. I tried after the Kamala Harris thing that she did, and it was just uncomfortable to watch, primarily because I felt like I was watching, I was waiting for Sandman Sims to come out with the big giant hook and drag her off the Apollo stage. It was just too much.
I'm waiting for El Shakal to come out and blow up the trumpet face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Awful, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. You got it. Yeah, I don't know. Candace Owens, again, as I told you guys when I first got here, when people start talking about, black conservatives, what do you think of Candace Owens? I'm like, I don't think about Candace Owens. What do you think of Tim Scott? I do not. I don't care about black conservatives. I just care about me. If you're a conservative, be a conservative. All I care about is your conservatism. I don't care about your race and none of that stuff. So I couldn't be a fan. I just couldn't. I don't glom on because everybody thinks it's like the flavor of the month. I don't play the flavor of the month. You're either good at what you do or you're not, and that's it. It's over. Stevie V, what's going on, sir?
I got a bad case of mistletoe.
Whoa. Who's your mistletoe for this time?
Well, the worst part is the doctor had me at Traction. They had couples making out underneath my leg, but that's another story. Anyways, since you brought up Candace Owens, I found out she's no longer following me. I think she used to follow a lot of people just to get people to follow her back.
Sure.
But anyways, she reminds me a bit of like what Chris Murphy's doing right now. Since you brought her up. Chris Murphy is going after Trump, and you know what's happening? People are giving him money hand over fist because they hate Trump.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that's why Trump is not even mentioning him, because he knows that'll build up, more
right.
money.
It gives
for him.
credibility. Exactly. It lends credibility to Chris Murphy as an adversary. And I got to find that audio clip. Maybe I'll play it next week. But it's that audio clip from the Lego Batman movie where the Joker is trying to express to Batman that I am your biggest enemy, and Batman's like, "No, you're not." It's like, the Joker's like, "Yes, I am. I know I'm your biggest nemesis." And Batman's like, "You're not even close to my nemesis." Like he mentions all of these other bad guys that he's clearly they were more apt to be his true rival. And he's like, "No, I don't even think about you." And it's so daunting, but it's a great scene in the Lego Batman. I thought it was fantastic.
Hey, since you mentioned husky voices,
yes.
Marilyn Monroe had a husky voice.
Yes.
Mae West had a husky voice.
Mae West, but those ladies were before my time. I'm thinking teenage years. By the way, Jerry Williams says, what about Jane Kennedy? Absolutely, Jane Kennedy. What
about Christy Alley?
Christy Alley, forget about it. That voice is perfect. Oh, absolutely. So we'll always. I watched Veronica's Closet, her TV show. I actually watched that. I was a big fan of that show.
Now, you know who Madeline Kahn was, right?
Yeah, of course.
And she actually had like a soprano voice, but she would make her voice husky.
Yes, she could
when she was acting.
One of my favorite films she is in is Clue. I still watch that movie.
She's
absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Stevie.
All right, thank you.
You got it, buddy. Let's go to Tom in Thomaston. How are you doing, sir? What's up?
I'm well. Hey, Reese, someone told me that they heard that White Mike and Candace Owens had something going on, and they may have been responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. I don't know, but anything's possible. You know what I'm saying?
You're 100% right, and like I said, that's the world we're living in. And Candace Owens and so many others have turned their careers into coming up with these insane conspiracy theories, and they have a really, really acceptable audience that just goes, "Yeah, that's quite possible," and it's like they just receive it and just. Yeah, and next thing you know, that's spreading like wildfire. Do I know that it is taking advantage of very, I would say, influential or easily influenced individuals? Yes, but that's why I won't play a part in it.
And the other thing, Eric, she's got a lot of money with her organization. She can take her kids with her. She's not abandoning them. She's on the book tour for Charlie's book that he had almost finished writing. That's why she's on all these shows now.
Yeah.
And my last point, I do not believe in any way that Israel is responsible for Charlie Kirk's death.
Thank you for getting that on the record, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Have a good day.
You got it. You too. Last but not least, Rob's in Middletown. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Reese?
What's up?
Bro, the leaves have fallen, man. How many more times I got to listen to this guru of gutter protection? I'm ready to execute myself over here.
Oh, poor guy. Hey, man, that's how I get my bills paid.
It's got to be 40, 50 times a day, bro.
Hey, they're paying a lot of money for that. Do not disrespect them.
Must be paying you a lot, too, bro.
They're not paying. They're just paying the show. That's where I get my checks from. What's going on with you?
About the affordability.
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about this bill for 2 years. Are any numbers been attached to that?
None whatsoever.
What their idea of affordability is.
There's a great question, because what we're going to be doing in the next coming months, and of course, in the beginning of the year, we're going to break down the affordability, literally down to the bones, and we're going to just start getting people to start explaining exactly how this bill is going to get folks into homes. That's one, and two, make it available for anybody, for that matter, in this state to be able to move wherever they want to. And we're going to see how soon we get actual building happening. So
nice.
I don't think that's, like I said, I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think all of this is a pipe dream. I think it was done just to, in essence, as some sort of filler for the Lamont campaign to say, hey, we passed this bill, so he can, I guess, run a re-election. If I were him, I would have waited until March. So at least it's fresh in everyone's minds.
This whole thing was Obama's wet dream. He's the one that wanted to bring the hood to the suburbs.
Yep, he was doing. Remember, he was trying that in Westchester in about 2009, 2010. He was trying to bring. He was trying that. The first proving ground for him was in Westchester County, and boy, were they ticked off. They were like, "We didn't vote for this." Absolutely right.
When Avon and Simsbury get going.
Exactly. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir. You got it. Don't forget, check us out tomorrow. We will be in Glastonbury at 65 Glastonbury Boulevard at the Homewood Suites by Hilton. We'll be there all day for another great day to get folks, excuse me, showing up for charity show toys. We need girl toys at the holiday store for the Salvation Army. Girls toys from infant all the way up to 12 years old. So if you have something you want to give, please do, and you can meet us there. And also you can donate by texting WTIC to 31333. That is texting WTIC to 31333. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. Mark Christopher is out, but Tom O'Hanlon is getting you home. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, folks.